Hey, this is Flo and welcome back to the third episode of our Stocks app 30-day app challenge. In the last episode, we implemented a function to get the stock data for a given symbol, and now we will actually connect that to our UI and fill it with some placeholder values. So first of all, I will create a variable with all of the symbols that we want to fetch the data for. So private let symbols be a type of string array, and let's also directly initialize it. And for now, let's just add Apple and Tesla and maybe also IBM. So these are the symbols that we want to load. And now what I'm going to do in the initializer, or actually I should write a function for that. So func load all symbols. And in here I will just do symbols dot for each, which will give me a symbol in, and then I will just call our get stock data for symbol function. Okay, and now in the initializer I can actually call load all symbols. Next, what I need is to actually store the stock data that we get in our get stock data function. So I will create a published var stock data, which should be an array of stock data, and let's initialize it to be empty. And then in here I will just first of all capture unowned self to have no reference cycles, and then just call self.stockdata.append the stock data. Good, so one thing that we have to think about now is that maybe this function gets called several times in the view's lifecycle. For example, if a symbol gets added. So before loading the symbols, we should make sure that stock data is set to an empty array. Okay, so now let's get into our content view. We already have the view model here, and for now we have this mocked for each. So what I will do right now is make sure that we're only displaying stuff if our stock data is not empty. So if not model log stock data is empty, then we will display this for each year, and we will just iterate over model.stock data. And as an ID, let's look into our struct actually. So this has no real identifiable information, so let's make it identifiable by just adding an ID. So let ID equals UUID, and then we don't even need this ID part here. Now instead of a number, we will actually get the stock, and now here we can actually insert the information. So we can say stock dot, let's see how it is called. It's called metadata, and then in the metadata the symbol. So stock dot metadata dot symbol in the text here, and then okay. And for the value here, I have actually just created a computed property on stock data, which is called latest close, which will give us in our time series the first entry, so the one which will give us in our time series the first entry, so the one at the very top being the actual latest one, its value in the dictionary here, and the close value. Since this is all optional, I will have to provide a default string here, and I will just say not a number. And then what I can do here is just use stock.latest close. Now I can run this in the simulator because we will care about the change and the graph next up. Okay, as you can see, this doesn't really work, and the thing is that we are trying to update a UI here in our subscription closure, so we need to wrap all of this in a dispatch queue.main.asynchronous closure, Now if we run it again, then it should work and actually update our list. And there you can see we have our symbols, IBM, Tesla, and Apple, and their current latest value. Okay, so that's it for this part. And in the next one, I think we will actually tackle the graph. So see you then.